health indicators. 36 counties regularly paid stipends to CHPs, and 91% of all CHPs, which is 98,780, visited about 4.1 million households, reporting on key indicators and supporting SHA registration for informal sector workers. The Danida PHC program, public health care program, disbursed Kenya shillings 448.7 million to support level 2 and level 3 facilities and community level interventions, with 45 counties receiving on-site technical support. In terms of service coverage, respiratory illnesses accounted for 22.4% of all reported cases. Antenatal care coverage declined slightly to 53.82%, while skilled birth attendance remained high at 89%. Neonatal mortality improved, dropping from 10 to 9 deaths per 1,000 live births, and modern contraceptive prevalence held steady at 58.7%. County governments have advanced their health digitization agenda by receiving 8,316 tablets to support digital health information systems, patient registration, and claims processing. In oxygen infrastructure, there are 75 pressure swing absorptions PSA plants in place, with 59 currently operational and 86 of public health facilities equipped with oxygen concentrators to maintain a steady oxygen supply. Following the expiry of the managed equipment service, the MES contract, the Ministry of Health and the CoG launched the National Medical Equipment Support Project, the NESP. This initiative uses a fee-for-service model to deliver specialized medical services across all counties. So far, 541 facilities have been assessed for equipment placement. 28 counties have started offering services, and 29,669 services have been rendered under the NESP program. Despite these strides, service delivery has faced challenges due to delays in exchequer releases and shifts in donor funding. These disruptions have affected the stability of healthcare information systems, the management of essential health personnel, and the availability of critical commodities and vaccines. To sustain progress towards UHC, it is essential for the national government to release health funds in a timely manner, settle outstanding NHIF debts, and continue to invest in strengthening all aspects of the health system. Dear Kenyans, in the agricultural sector, in 2024, the agricultural sector remained central to the country's economy, contributing significantly to food security, income generation, and employment. The sector's gross value added, GVA, increased by 4.4% to Kenya shillings 1.71 trillion, though this was a slowdown compared to the previous year, where there was a 7.1% growth. Despite the slower pace, agriculture remained resilient and continued to be a major source of employment, creating over 308,000 new jobs, 14.1% being in the private sector, and 90% of those jobs are in the informal economy. Marketed agricultural earnings rose by 7.2% to Kenya shillings 690 billion, driven by strong performance in key value chains. Livestock earnings grew by 17.2%, while crop earnings rose by 2.7%. Notable gains were seen in sugarcane, which increased by 68.7%, milk deliveries by 12%, coffee exports by 48.6%, and avocado production by an increase of 34%. This was supported by initiatives like the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, better, which focused on those sectors. Investments in mechanization and livestock health increased, with the tractor fleet growing and livestock vaccinations nearly doubling. Artificial insemination services and milk cooling infrastructure saw major improvements as well. Additionally, infrastructure for the hay and grain storage expanded, and genetic improvements initiatives such as chick and breeding stock distribution progressed as well. Also significantly scaled up, with over 102,000 farmers trained and advisory coverage extending to over 6.5 million farmers, reflecting the strong county-led and county-level commitment to boosting agricultural capacity. However, challenges persist. Maize production declined slightly. Horticultural exports dropped by 14.1% in volume, resulting in Kenya shillings 20 billion income loss, and agricultural credit grew only marginally. The Agriculture Orientation Index also declined, indicating a need for better alignment between the government spending and the sector priorities. On arid and semi-arid land and disaster risk management, DRM, in 2024-2025 fiscal year, counties in Kenya experienced a marked reduction in disaster impacts compared to the previous year. Fatalities from disasters declined by 59%, injuries fell by 64%, and displacement camps decreased significantly. Infrastructure damage also declined. Affected schools dropped from 82%, damaged health facilities by 41%, and wash facility damages dropped by 87%. Agricultural losses were substantially minimized. A 97% decrease in destroyed crop acreage and a 59% reduction in livestock losses. The need for emergency relief diminished, with only 7,948 households assisted compared to over 51,000 the previous year, reflecting lower incidence of disasters. Institutional capacity for disaster risk management also improved. The number of counties with enacted DRM acts increased from 29 to 37, while those with DRM policies and emergency plans also grew. More counties allocated at least 2% of their budgets to emergency funds, and functional disaster management directorates rose to 43 out of the 47. Post-disaster livestock vaccinations also nearly doubled, indicating better preparedness and response. Moving forward, counties aim to strengthen enforcement of DRM laws, integrate risk management into their budgeting, operationalize early warning to early action using real-time data from the relevant agencies, and also improve fire departments' capacity through standardized equipment and inter-county procurement. Dear Kenyans, in the lands, housing, and urban development sector, county governments have made steady progress in spatial planning by preparing and approving various physical and land use development plans to shape urban and county growths. As of the reporting period, 19 counties had approved county spatial plans, with Muranga being the latest addition. 8 more have submitted their plans for approval, while 6 are in the early stages of analysis. These plans are designed to align spatial development with each county's broader development agenda and urban needs. In parallel, efforts to digitalize land records and processes have continued, with 5 more counties, Makueni, Homa Bay, Kitui, Narok, and Machakos, adopting the County Land Information Management CLIMS system. Makueni County stands out for fully digitizing its land services into a single platform. The EU and Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, funded Digital Land Governance Program, the DLGP, has supported the establishment of 39 fully functional geographic information GIS systems, labs, and trained 235 GIS officers and 141 county leaders in the application of GIS and remote sensing to promote informed, data-driven land management. Through the DLGP, counties have implemented 101 land governance activities, including clinics, training, and community outreach, reaching over 10,000 beneficiaries. The program also facilitated the training of physical and land use planning liaison officers and their committees, and supported the development of 16 land-related policies. This covers areas such as urban planning, housing, spatial planning, and land regularization. Additionally, the program helped create more green building guidelines, 7 legislative bills, and 2 research papers which are focused on planning status and gender-based land allocation in Nyamira County. During the year under review, 11 more municipalities received charters, bringing to the total of municipalities to 118, each establishing governance structures to manage urban services and infrastructure. County governments have also transferred specific functions to these cities and municipalities to improve efficiency and accountability in service delivery. In urban planning, there has been notable progress, with 64 out of the 77 assessed municipalities approving their spatial and physical land use plans, while 73 have completed integrated development programs and plans to guide local development efforts. In support of the National Affordable Housing Agenda under BETTER, county governments partnered with the national government to launch affordable housing projects, contributing land and engaging in planning efforts. As part of implementing the Affordable Housing Act, 28 rural and urban affordable housing committees responsible for creating frameworks to guide the housing development, including a 5-year and annual investment programs aimed at expanding access to affordable housing at the county level. The Kenya Informal Settlements Improvement Program, KISIP, is active in 37 counties, with 88 settlements gaining security of tenure and 95 receiving upgraded infrastructure. 10 local physical and land use plans were also approved, bringing the total to 44 and achieving 55% of the program's target. This helped formalize settlements and prepare them for titling. In terms of socio-economic inclusion, 19 community development plans, CDPs, were completed and endorsed in Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu, and Kakamega counties, while also in phase 2, 19 community development plans were completed and endorsed. And in Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu, and Kakamega counties, while phase 2 of the CDP preparation is underway in Mombasa, Kiambu, and Uasin Gishu counties. Ladies and gentlemen, on transport and infrastructure and energy, county governments oversee 8,032 kilometers of the national road network, most of which consists of earth and gravel roads, with only 4% being tarmac roads. In the fiscal year 2024-2025, counties tarmacked 298 kilometers of road, constructed 4,800 kilometers of cabro roads, graveled 12,000 kilometers, and added a further 1,949 kilometers of non-motorized transport pavements to improve pedestrian safety. To support public transport, counties have built 17 bus parks and over 16,000 boda sheds. Road safety efforts included forming 27 multi-agency county committees. Additionally, counties have strengthened technical capacity by hiring over 200 engineers, 900 traffic marshals, and bringing in 2,053 interns and attaches. County governments are running over 114 renewable energy projects, including the solar-powered streetlights, mini-grids, and hospital backups. Partnership with the Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation, REREC, through the Matching Fund Program, have also established in order to boost rural electrification. In 2024-2025, 16 counties have developed energy plans. 13 counties have theirs under progress, and 20 counties have distributed clean cook stoves to promote clean cooking access. Fellow Kenyans, in the trade and cooperative sectors, in the year under review, county governments advanced trade development by improving market infrastructure and supporting medium, small, and micro enterprises. 75 new markets were built, down from 117 the previous year, while 129 were renovated, up from 113 the previous year, showing a focus on upgrading rather than expanding. 36 counties maintained digital business registration, though only 33 have implemented the unified business permits, down from 30, highlighting the slow adoption of integrated systems. Trade licenses issued have risen by 66% from 506,855 to 842,931, reflecting increased business formalization. MSME support also grew, with 60,020 enterprises trained, nearly double the previous year, on key topics like registration, finance, and identifying business opportunities. County governments are promoting investments through policy development, with 12 counties creating investment policies and 10 establishing investment authorities or specific investment initiatives by identifying opportunities, monitoring progress, and providing aftercare services, helping attract and retain investments within counties. Additionally, 34 counties are currently implementing county aggregation and industrial parks (SCIPE), with 13 counties projected for completion and commissioning before the end of this calendar year. These parks are designed to provide aggregation and industrial processing facilities, thereby reducing post-harvest losses, enhancing value addition, and ultimately increasing farmers' incomes. In the fiscal year 2024-2025, county governments supported the growth of cooperative societies, with the total number rising from 20,175 to 21,016, a net increase of 841 new cooperatives. To improve governance and sustainability, especially training on alternative dispute resolution, to improve Governance and sustainability, specialized training on alternative dispute resolution, ADRs, was introduced for county cooperative officers. Counties also advanced capacity building efforts, focusing on leadership, audit support, and enterprise development to strengthen cooperative performance and member engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, on tourism and wildlife, counties are increasingly adopting integrated tourism planning, with Embu and Nyandarua counties developing tourist master plans. However, legislative gaps remain, as some rely on partially aligned finance or conservancy acts. A key development is Baringo's 2024 Conservancies Bill, proposing structured governance, licensing, and revenue sharing for community conservancies, supported by existing regulations and management plans. Counties are actively developing wildlife and cultural sites to boost local tourism, with 15 reporting museums, 21 recreational parks, 6 theaters or cinemas, and 12 public beaches and 26 cultural sites. These attractions help preserve heritage and drive local economies. To enhance tourism, counties are creating niches and niche experiences like ecotourism, agro-tourism, and cultural circuits, while also improving infrastructure such as roads, airstrips, and visitors' facilities. They also use digital platforms to promote events like the festivals and expos. Public-private partnership, community involvement, and sustainable practices are being prioritized to support long-term growth. These combined efforts are building a more inclusive and competitive county-led tourism sector that balances economic development with cultural and environmental preservation. Counties in Kenya are advancing wildlife conservation by promoting sustainable, community-driven practices. Key actions include developing management plans, recruiting rangers, building infrastructure like entry gates and camps, managing invasive species, and improving water access through pan construction. Counties such as Narok and Baringo have created support structures like the Community Wildlife Conservancy Fund, while Samburu, Isiolo, and Garissa have formed county conservancy associations to coordinate efforts. Samburu County has implemented a revenue sharing framework to distribute tourism income to local communities, fostering inclusive development and conservation initiatives. Innovative and locally tailored initiatives are emerging. In Machakos County, the county government has launched a roadkill awareness campaign. In Kilifi County, the county government supports butterfly farming through the Kipepeo project, while Kisii County is facilitating dialogue to manage human-wildlife conflict, and Bugoba County is using a motocross challenge to raise conservation awareness. County is also investing in nature-based enterprises such as beekeeping and ecotourism. Further, efforts include gazetting new protected areas like Olot in Nyandarua and Misango Hills in Kakamega. While some implementation challenges remain due to the ongoing devolution of wildlife functions, adopting integrated ecosystem-based approaches that link conservation with community welfare, aiming to protect biodiversity while supporting local livelihoods and promoting long-term environmental and economic sustainability. Counties have partnered with the private sector to develop meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, MICE infrastructure, with all 47 counties reporting privately built conference facilities and hotels, improved road networks, and mapped accommodations have further supported this growth. 19 counties hosted major MICE events, enhancing their profiles as emerging trade and tourism destinations, while attracting both local and international participants. Dear Kenyans, on natural resource management, county governments have increased support for environmental governance, with 21 developing county environmental action plans and 15 producing state of environments reports. However, environmental committees remain ineffective due to being hosted by the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, rather than counties, highlighting the need to amend the Environmental Management and Coordination Act, the EMCA, to clarify the governance roles. County governments are responsible for solid waste management, including refuse removal, dump site oversight, recycling, and enforcement of regulations. As of the current review, 37 counties have enacted solid waste management laws, up from 35. Material recovery facilities, MRFs, increased from 68 to 68, and 29 counties now operate sanitary landfills. Counties have expanded infrastructure by acquiring 453 waste handling machines, while growing private sector involvement and daily waste collection. Circular economy practices are gaining ground, with 259 recycling farms and 40 waste centers operating across the counties. Counties are also piloting innovative projects. Mandera County's greening program employed over 1,100 residents in waste-related work. Vihiga County set aside land for a recycling plant. Nandi County is using black soldier flies to process organic waste into fertilizer. And Nyeri County has partnered with Pacro and Biogas International to manage plastics, glass, and organic waste. These efforts show a shift towards sustainable waste management and increased collaboration through public-private partnerships. Overall, county governments are taking tangible steps to improve waste management, foster recycling, and turn waste into economic opportunities, while improving public health and environmental sustainability. All 47 counties have enacted climate change legislation, established climate units, and developed action plans with allocations ranging from 1.5% to 6% of their development budgets, amounting to about 8.1 billion shillings for climate change initiatives in the fiscal year 2024-2025. Counties are also revising their laws to integrate carbon markets in line with national frameworks. Key initiatives include climate-smart agriculture, promotion of drought-resistant crops, livestock breed improvements, soil and water conservation, rangeland rehabilitation, ecosystem restoration, and adoption of renewable energy technologies like solar-powered cold storage, hatcheries, and borehole pumps. Other efforts include soya farming, constructing water conservation structures, and distributing energy-efficient cookstoves and mekos, all aimed at enhancing climate resilience and sustainable development at the local level. As of the fiscal year 2024-2025, 37 counties had water-related legal frameworks, and 23 had water master plans and sanitation investment strategies, showing a modest progress from the previous year, 2023-2024. These frameworks have helped assess water and sanitation access levels, supporting alignment with the National Investment Plan. To boost water services, counties developed performance improvement plans for service providers and launched 5,765 new water projects, while rehabilitating 2,865 old facilities. The total number of boreholes, water pans, and small dams also grew, with functional boreholes increasing from 9,366 increasing to 9,366, and the average distance to improved water sources dropping to 2.8 kilometers. These efforts reflect the ongoing infrastructure investments to improve access and service delivery in the water sector. In financial year 2024-2025, 19 counties enacted forestry laws. All 47 counties grew over 21 million trees and established 246 nurseries. They also focused on rehabilitation and afforestation, identifying ecologically significant areas for protection and forming community forest associations to manage county forests such as Kipri, Kiplombe, and Loima. Tree growing efforts are also monitored using various tools, including the Jazamiti app and geographical information systems, though there is need for a harmonized system to track progress effectively and contribute to the national goal of achieving 30% tree cover by 2032. Currently, 11 counties have mining-related legal frameworks. Efforts are also underway to increase this through capacity building and collaboration with national agencies. Counties are being encouraged to take up more roles in managing artisanal and small-scale mining on public and community land. In the fiscal year 2024-2025, 18 counties formed artisanal mining associations and 38 counties gazetted mining communities, up from 27 the previous year, to support regulation and environmental rehabilitation. In the blue economy sector, counties have advanced initiatives in this area through legislation and regional cooperation. Laws such as the Busia and Migori Fisheries Acts and Lamu's Fisheries Development Fund regulations aim to support sustainable fisheries. Coastal counties endorsed 8 Joint Co-Management Areas, JCMAs, plans empowering 42 beach management units to manage over 6,300 kilometers of marine areas through conservation measures like no fishing zones and habitat protection. Blue Economy Training enrolled 564 students across various counties, while the number of licensed fishers and vessels significantly increased. Counties constructed 17 new fish markets led by Migori and built or rehabilitated 18 fish landing stations, with Kisumu and Migori taking the lead. Kilifi and Lamu counties allocated the highest budgets to the sector at KSh 92 million and 70 million respectively. In total, counties are implementing 54 development programs to support the blue economy sector. Fish markets continue to be key economic hubs for job creation and revenue generation. Counties are also adopting sustainable aquaculture through innovations like pond liners, hatcheries, and aquaponics systems, while investing in ecosystem protection, preserving wetlands, regulating water use, and mitigating pollution. These collective efforts demonstrate growing county-led commitment to a resilient and environmentally responsible blue economy. Fellow Kenyans, on pre-primary and vocational development, in 2024, enrollment in pre-primary education across Kenya increased by 3.88% to 2,953,207 learners, with boys accounting for 1,494,920 and girls 1,458,287. This rise is linked to enhanced support and investments from county governments. The number of pre-primary schools grew by 2.95% to 48,721, and over 5,950 new classrooms were constructed within the year. Teacher recruitment also improved, with 78,101 teachers employed by county governments, up from 50,104, and 27,997 by private providers, resulting in a better pupil-to-teacher ratio of 37:1. County governments collectively allocated over 9.2 billion to education, with about 6.8 billion directed specifically to pre-primary education, averaging Kenya shillings 3,240 per learner. These efforts reflect a strong push to improve access and equity in early childhood learning through infrastructure expansion, workforce strengthening, and increased funding to support growing enrollment and enhance learning environments for young learners. To address unemployment and skills gap, county governments managed 1,222 vocational training centers in the last financial year, up from 1,204 in the previous year, with enrollment rising to 172,527 trainees. They employed 4,874 vocational trainers, an increase from the previous year's 4,797. Counties invested Kenya shillings 2.45 billion in the sector, including Kenya shillings 1.35 billion for construction, rehabilitation, and equipment of training centers. Ladies and gentlemen, in the gender, culture, social services, youth, and sports sectors, during the reporting period, county governments allocated 1.29 billion to gender-responsive programming, a 40.62% increase from the previous year. These funds supported GBV prevention and response, empowerment initiatives, and establishment of shelters and recovery centers. A total of 11,630 women and 8,802 men benefited from access to government procurement opportunities, AGBO. Additionally, 44 counties developed or reviewed gender-related laws, including empowerment funds, 24 counties, GBV policies, 31 counties, and anti-FGM frameworks, 5 counties. In the financial year under review, counties allocated cash shillings 773.6 million to youth programs supporting services like digital skills, driving, and business training through youth-friendly centers. Funds also supported employability and entrepreneurship initiatives such as the Tuajiri, Ugatuzi, Nakazi, Ukombozi, and Extravaganza programs. Additionally, 10,542 youth benefited from AGBO program, reflecting a slight 1% decline from the previous year's 10,664 beneficiaries. In the reporting period, counties allocated 1.59 billion to social protection programs, up from 1.19 billion the previous year. These funds supported vulnerable groups through initiatives such as assistive devices and surgeries for persons with disabilities, street children reunification, elderly support, food distribution, and resettlement. Counties also developed special social protection policies and established dedicated funds to enhance livelihoods and supplement incomes for marginalized populations. In the fiscal year 2024-2025, county governments allocated approximately Kenya shillings 3 billion, allocated Kenya shillings 3,945,704,685 shillings towards sports function. County governments successfully held the annual Kenya Youth Inter-County Sports Association in Homa Bay County and the Kikoska Games in Kakamega County. The allocations were utilized in the development and maintenance of sporting facilities, the purchase of sports equipment and facilities, and also facilitating participation in sporting events, development of sports policies and acts as well. Currently, there are approximately 442 operational sports facilities across 36 counties, up from 367 in the previous year. In the legal, human rights, and intergovernmental relations space, the judiciary continues to play a crucial role in upholding devolution in Kenya through landmark judgments and rulings that emphasize cooperation between the national and county governments. Two key judgments stand out. First, in Constitutional Petition 168 of 2016, Wanjiru Gikonyo versus the National Assembly, the High Court declared the National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF Act, unconstitutional, stating it violated the principles of devolution, separation of powers, and Parliament's oversight role. The court ordered the fund and its programs to cease operations by 30th of June 2026. Second, in Constitutional Petition E423 of 2024, Issa Elanyi Chemao and others versus the National Assembly, the court found the exclusion of county governments from the Road Maintenance Levy Fund, RMLF, unconstitutional. It ruled that classifying roads as national, rural, and urban undermines devolution, and declared Section 6 of the KRB Act, Kenya Roads Boards Act, as unconstitutional. The court also ordered the allocation of Kenya shillings 10.5 billion to counties and found that the National Assembly's 2023 decision to exclude counties from the RMLF funding in fiscal year 2024-2025 and 2025-2026 was a violation of our Constitution. These pronouncements reinforce the need for proper consultation and equitable sharing of resources, protecting the autonomy and the functionality of county governments. The summit, as the top intergovernmental relations body, met on the 11th of December 2024 to review progress and challenges between the national and county governments. Key discussions included the division of revenue. Additionally, additional allocation bill. Key discussions included the division of revenue, the county additional allocations bill, and resolved unbundling issues, proposed amendments to the Intergovernmental Relations Act, asset valuation of defunct local authorities, and Intergovernmental Participation Acts on the National Equipment Service Program, NESP. In 2025, Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council, IBEC, held two meetings on the 27th of January and 23rd of June to discuss key public finance and service delivery issues. In January, IBEC emphasized aligning national budgets with devolved functions and transparent division of revenue negotiations and collaborative formulation of the fourth basis of revenue sharing formula. In June, the National Treasury committed to full equitable share disbursements of Kenya shillings 30.83 billion and timely release of additional allocations. IBEC adopted a National Pending Bills Act plan and encouraged county-level implementation. IBEC praised the registration of 24.4 million Kenyans under the Taifa Care health insurance and supported the establishment of a remittance mechanism for the Social Health Insurance Fund. It approved the release of Kenya shillings 970 million for 13 county aggregation industrial parks, KIBs, and onboarded 21 more counties for the fiscal year 2025-2026. IBEC also resolved to protect public land under transfer using reservation orders and promote standardized standardized on-source revenue strategies. Additionally, it called for a national agriculture summit in August 2025 and assigned the office of the Deputy President to lead coordination on education financing and intergovernmental support. These resolutions highlight IBEC's continued commitment to effective devolution and structured cooperation between the two levels of government. In the period under review, the Council of Governors convened 5 meetings to tackle major challenges facing county governments, particularly the continued clawback of devolved functions by the national government, unconstitutional financial interference, fund diversion, and delayed disbursements, among others. Among the key resolutions, the Council of Governors agreed to form an 8-member committee to engage the National Assembly on equitable allocation of the Roads Maintenance Levy Fund for the fiscal year 2025-2026. They also resolved to engage the National Treasury to demand immediate release of funds owed under the County Government's Additional Allocations Act 2025 and advocate for the disbursement of budgetary allocations to support devolved functions as outlined in the legal notice number 16472. Additionally, the Council of Governors committed to establishing the Devolution Institute, a center for capacity building on devolution-related matters. The Council of Governors has continued to collaborate with the Commission on Administrative Justice to advance access to information within counties. The CoG provided technical support to the county government of Turkana in developing and disseminating a model bill to access information. In the financial year under review, the Council of Governors reviewed and submitted memoranda on 12 key legislative and policy proposals impacting county governments. The CoG emphasized strong oversight in carbon trading, in proposed qualifications for intergovernmental leadership, and also in defending constitutional appeal rights and address tenure issues in county attorneys' roles. The CoG advocated for county roles in sanitation, in protection against revenue shortfalls, and it also rejected legislation lacking legal clarity or creating redundant structures. The CoG supported improved regulation for labor migration, inclusion in tobacco control governance, retention of equitable revenue share, and harmonization within the creative sector. These are the laws that we participated by giving our views on. It also flagged cultural and logistical concerns with proposed public fundraising regulations. Key policies, legislation, and administrative instruments were developed aimed at improving service delivery at the county level across health, agriculture, climate change, transport, trade, county planning, education, natural resource sectors, and environment conservation, art and culture. On knowledge sharing and peer-to-peer learning, in 2024-2025 fiscal year, the Maarifa Center strengthened its role as the sub-national knowledge sharing lab. I'll take that again. In the 2024-2025 fiscal year, the Maarifa Center strengthened its role as the sub-national knowledge sharing hub for publishing by publishing the 7th and 8th editions of the Compendium of County Government's Innovation and Best Practices on Service Delivery. The 7th edition focused on climate change, documenting 13 innovations from 9 counties under the FLOCA program, while the 8th edition, developed in collaboration with the PS Kenya and Options Consultancy, highlighted 13 family planning best practices across 13 counties. This included postpartum models, mentorships of providers, and cultural sensitive outreaches. In total, 31 counties success stories were documented. The center also worked with 45 county knowledge management champions and held 2 capacity building workshops to boost their documentation skills. To enhance accessibility and feasibility, all compendiums and key publications were made available on our Marifa portal and shared physically through the Council of Governors Secretariat. These efforts supported peer learning, promoted service delivery excellence, and encouraged policy uptakes across all the 47 counties. As I conclude, and to reiterate the sentiments of my Vice Chair, I warmly invite you all to the Devolution Conference 2025, which will take place at Homa Bay High School in Homa Bay County from the 12th to the 15th of August 2025. As mentioned at the beginning of my address, this year's theme posits devolution as a driver of equality, inclusion, and social justice. It will be a space to reflect, propose necessary interventions, learn, and network with peers as we synergize our efforts in making devolution work for all Kenyans. I now call on my fellow governors to proceed with delivering their state of county addresses in all their respective jurisdictions. A detailed statistical report covering all the sectors I have mentioned is available. Here is to the continued progress of our 48 governments and to the unity and prosperity of the Kenyan nation. I thank you all.
Another round of applause for the chairman. Our chairman in his inaugural State of the Devolution address. May I